Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Kalaye Sundarakaram Sadaika Priyadarshanam. Ajnana Nashakam Devam Sadgurum Muralidharam. Yasya Smarana Matrena Jikwayam Vardate Swayam. Mahamantrastam Bhajami Muralidhara Deshikam. Premamritam yo Muralinanadaihi Shri Krishna Rupena Puravarsha. Adyapi soyam Muralidharakyo Pushnati Premna Bhuvanam Saharsham. Sankirtite Mahamantre Tatra Virbhuyat Tatshanam. Suprasanno Bhavedyastam Premika Varadam Bhaje. Murali Mandita Karakamalam Munijana Mohanam. Pityastapadam Vanamala Darinam. Prema Bhakta Mandala Nitya Kirtitam. Premika Varadam Ashrayeham. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Pranamo Dukkha Shamanaha Tam Namami Harim Param. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Koti pranams at the holy feet of Bhagwan and Guru Maharaj, by whose boundless grace I sit before you today. Greetings friends, Namaste. Gives me great delight, as always, to join you all in another session of Answers and Beyond, and I thank you all very much for taking the time to be a part of this. The Answers and Beyond journey continues. We will take up a question that a satsang friend from Chennai has sent. This is how it goes. Many years ago, we made a prayer as a family in our village temple for resolution of a particular problem. That problem got resolved recently. I have since moved to another country. My parents insist that we go back there in person since the problem has been resolved. I try to tell them that God is omnipresent and I can make the prayer from my own residence. This is the argument that we've had. What's your view on this? A very simple answer to this question is that Sri Swamiji would definitely, in this context, say that one should go back to the temple in person and convey a thank you to God right there. We will take the discussion in a more detailed manner to better understand the reason why Sri Swamiji says so. Is God omnipresent? Of course He is. Is it necessary for me to actually go to a particular place in order to tell Him thank you? Would He not know if I sat right where I am and told Him thank you very much? Is it necessary to actually go and do it? A very interesting situation we have here, isn't it? When I had the problem, when I was in that situation, that crisis, I did not tell myself that God is everywhere. It's not as if I have to go to a particular place, to a particular temple, or to the abode of my guru to actually tell him the problem. If I am in my own place and pray, that will do. It did not occur to me in that manner on that day when I faced the heat. I made it a point to say first, make that prayer at home, and maybe I wrote letters and emails about it, and then I actually went, took the physical journey to that place, to that temple, or to the abode of my guru, and I told him in person that I have this problem. Please bail me out. You need to get me out of this situation. I beg you. It then occurred to me at that point of time that after all, he's omnipresent. Is it necessary? Or is God suffering from some sort of a amnesia? I'm saying this in a light sense, please don't take it otherwise, that I have to keep reminding him over and over again because I first did the prayer at my home, then I wrote, then I actually went in person. If I tell him once it's enough, from where I am, it's enough. It didn't really occur to me on that day in that manner. That's totally fine. Because after all, we are in that stressful situation. Fear grips us. And we want that support. We want that strength. So we go again and again and again. Although we know ourselves that we are repetitive, we place that request and that prayer over and over again while we are facing the problem. I'm reminded of this incident that happened many years ago at our ashram. It was one of those days when lots of friends, devotees had come to the ashram to have darshan of Sri Swamiji. Sri Swamiji was sitting at the shrine of Madhuri Sakhi Sameda, Sri Premika Varadan. One by one, they were coming in a queue. When a particular family came close, even before they could say something, Sri Swamiji started the conversation. It's a very beautiful sight to see that. He would talk to every single person and connect to every one of them instantly. It would almost appear like he was continuing a conversation that was already ongoing. That person might have come 3 years, 5 years ago, and then 5 years later when the person comes, he would simply start right there. The same thing happened. Swamiji said, when you came last time, you mentioned to me about this particular problem that you were facing at work, a very critical situation. I also told you to offer a prayer to Sri Krishna here, Sri Premika Varadan. What happened? Did it get resolved? The moment Swamiji asked this question, that man broke into tears. He said, it did. Swamiji, soon after I made the prayers, maybe a few weeks after, the problem got solved. I'm sorry I did not bother to come and inform. Sri Swamiji did not really react to that. He simply said, this is what I want you to do. You go and stand before Premika Varadan, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, and tell him that the problem got solved, and chant the Nama a few times. Say thank you to him for bailing you out. The man did just that, and they all went away. That evening, there was a conversation that happened at the ashram. Some students of the Gurukulam who were witness to this happening in the morning. And one student asked Sri Swamiji, is it really necessary for a person to come all the way physically to this place, stand here and say thank you? Would Premika Varadan not know if he said thank you from his own home? Would he not be satisfied with that? It was a genuine doubt, and Sri Swamiji addressed it beautifully. Sri Swamiji said that first we need to understand one thing. God does not expect anything from us. Everything that we do is for our own sake. It helps us to elevate ourselves by establishing a bond between Him and us. If I have that sort of a steadfast faith that a problem comes my way, I simply accept it. I don't even want relief from it. I don't want to go and ask God to help me out of the situation. I just say that must be my karma, must be my destiny. I will undergo it, but I will not ask you to be bailed out of this problem. I'd rather conserve all my penance, my tapas, my nama to attaining you. If I'm able to remain in that situation, well and good. It's going to lead to spiritual progress, and I will not complain that I have problems. If, on the other hand, I feel that if I sit in my own place, in my own puja, in front of, say, the portrait of Bhagwan or the Guru, and believe 100% that he hears everything that I say, I don't really have to go and tell him, he knows. Then I don't have to go back and tell him also when the problem is solved, yes, it got solved, thank you so much. If I believe in his omnipresence, I will not in the first place go and tell him when there's a problem. He would know after all. But if I find myself in a situation where when I face an issue, I feel like going to his physical presence or to that temple, standing there and crying before him and telling him to bail me out of the situation, it also makes perfect sense to go back there physically and tell him, thank you, the problem got solved. It really does not depend on God there. He does not expect anything. He's okay with any particular attitude or bhavam that I might have, but I need to be true to it. When it's a rainy day, I feel the necessity to go and cry my heart out. But when the sun is out, I feel it's not necessary to go and thank him. That will not work. This is what Sri Swamiji told. So, the moral of the story, friends, Sri Swamiji said, is it's absolutely okay to go and make that prayer. After all, we are weak human beings. We need that blessings from God. The one thing that we can all always remember to do is to also go and thank Him when the problem is solved, when the prayer is answered. Saying thank you is a very beautiful thing to do, and it certainly would help every one of us to progress spiritually. How do we say thank you? The best way to say thank you is to chant His name. It's very simple. It does not cost money. It does not require any great effort. I don't need to buy a thing to chant Nama. I have my tongue, and that's enough. I can chant His divine name. And that is the best way to say thank you to God. So let us make a habit of thanking God always. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience.